Russia has sent more than 200,000 troops to Belarus inside of Europe in what they claim is just a regular military exercise, but 200,000 troops, along with military helicopters and vehicles, is not a small force, and actually it's big enough to man for man match all of the neighboring EU countries of Poland, Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia. Belarus and Russia are calling this the Zapad 21 exercise, and they are carrying it out in the Brest region of Belarus, right on the border of Poland. So if you're Poland or any other nation within the EU for that matter, you're going to keep a very close eye on this enormous show of military force. They do carry out this Zapad operation every, I think, 4 years. So it's not like this is news to Poland to see Russia behave in this way. But what is new is the drastic increase in the operation size. And at the same time, Poland has a lot of issues with illegal migrants coming into Poland from Belarus. So right now, there's a lot of tensions already with the border forces between Poland and Belarus, and with the other countries of the EU members as well, Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia, all bordering Belarus, right? They have a lot of issues right now, to the point where all four of those nations have declared a state of emergency because of all of these tensions with the illegal migrants pouring in from Belarus. So there's a lot of tensions on those borders, and the fear is that someone at some point will do something stupid with this massive military force right on the border of Poland when you already have a lot of tensions. So check this out. Putin observes war games with Belarus that worry EU neighbors. The Zapad 2021 exercise is being conducted at several sites in Russia, and Belarus involve about 200,000 soldiers in total, including troops from Armenia, India, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Mongolia. So what's worrying about it, this operation this time around, is the size of it, that so many nations are involved and so many troops are involved, and also the reason why Russia is doing it this time, right? So it's described here that Zapad happens every 4 years and always rehearses the same scenario. A supposedly imaginary Western coalition, also known as the NATO, is working with terrorist elements to unseat the power of Belarus and take over parts of the country. Which, doesn't really sound like something NATO generally does, but that's why they're doing these operations. The joint forces of the Union State, Russia and Belarus, must repel the invasion, defeat the enemy head on, and sustain a possible longer-term regional war with a nuclear component towards the end. So even though this operation has happened before on a smaller scale, of course, if you're one of these neighboring EU nations, you're going to be worried. Look at this. The foreign ministers of Poland, Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia on Monday expressed concerns about the maneuvers, saying Russia has not been transparent about them and noting they come amid heightened Western tensions with Belarus. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov brushed off these concerns, saying that a joint military exercise are a regular process. Which of course they have to say, but imagine if those 4 EU nations decided to hold a joint military exercise right on the border of Russia or right on the border of Belarus. I don't think they would like that one bit. It also says that the exercises opened last week on the same day that Putin and Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko met and announced new moves to integrate their countries' economies, so they are moving closer as allies as well. Russian support for Belarus worries neighboring countries, who claim that Belarus is trying to destabilize them by encouraging migrants from the Mideast and Africa to come and then allegedly shepherding them to its borders with the European Union, nations of Lithuania, Latvia, and Poland. And I think at this point, I like that they use words like claim and allegedly. At this point, it's pretty well documented how Belarus is flying in bunches of people, mostly from Iraq, but also from the greater Middle East and some from Africa as well, how they fly them in, put them in these detention centers or these migrant camps, but they're all placed along the borders with especially Lithuania and Poland. And then sooner or later, somehow all of these migrants who are inside of guarded camps are then released over the borders into Poland and Lithuania. And for some reason, I'm sure this is a coincidence, right? For some reason, this is only happening to EU countries. It's not happening to like Ukraine, to the south of Belarus. It's only happening to EU countries. And the reason for this, they say allegedly, but the reason is that the EU has imposed these sanctions on Belarus for various, they claim, human rights violations and so on in Belarus. So they put sanctions on them the 24th of June this year. And that is the date that it began happening to this migrant flow, illegal migrants coming from Belarus to Lithuania and Poland. That's the almost the exact date it began happening, right? And it's not happening to non-EU countries. So I think at this point you don't have to say alleged and claim and so on. It's pretty obvious that Belarus is trying to pressure the EU with these illegal migrants to lift some of these sanctions, but it's not working so far. Something like this is why so many of the politicians within the EU are beginning to advocate for the EU becoming militarized. And if you don't think that's happening, I strongly recommend that you go check out a video that I just made that I will link up here that explains exactly how the EU is becoming militarized. I promise you, it's going to blow your mind. Thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe and all of that good stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good day.